Thanks for coming out, Chicago. Yeah, it's gonna be. I went to school here, actually. Yeah, University of Phoenix online. So, good to be here. No, I live in Seattle. It's great. I'm a big outdoorsy guy. You know, love hiking. What better for your depression than to be alone in the woods for several hours? You know, just looking over cliffs. Oh, I bet that would hurt. At least if I fell, I'd feel something. Oh. That's a joke. Relax. Don't. You're not gonna see me on the news tomorrow. They wouldn't cover it. I was worried about bears at first because I'm a pussy, and I was doing some research. It's very confusing because online it says, "Oh, if it's a brown bear, do one thing, but if it's a black bear, do the complete opposite." I'm like, that's fine, but how do I explain to the bear that I don't see color? You know? I'm one of the good ones, bear. I'm on your side. I went back online. Turns out there's like a nursery rhyme for bears. I haven't ever heard this. It goes, if it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. Oh, I think they got that from LAPD. Actually. Oh, if it's a polar bear, you say all lives matter. And that's fun. Yeah. Big hiker, love hiking. Hate camping though, because I love, say it with me, indoor plumbing. That's right, yes. My butthole is an indoor cat. I wish it would lick itself. But take your time with that one. Lately I've been combining my passions, just doing drugs in the woods. It's a good time. And my friends worry about me. They're like, it's the wilderness. It's unpredictable. What happens if you see a bear? I'm like, I appreciate the concern, but I don't think I can fight a bear sober either. If anything, the drugs are keeping me safer. I'm running from the imaginary dragon before I even see the real bear. But if a bear does eat me, I'll take solace knowing I'm the last human any bear eats, because I am filled with so many drugs. That bear's gonna tell all of his homies, like, dude, those edibles are stronger than I thought, holy shit. I had one human, I passed out for like 6 months. It was, I slept through the entire winter. This is a hibernation joke. Yeah, don't sleep on that one, that was pretty good. You can get mad at that joke, that's fine. My best friend loves hiking and he loves drugs, but he hates combining them, which is convenient because I get a driver. He's more of an angry stomper hiker. I don't know if you know the types. I'm Alice in Wonderland, just frolicking in the woods, and he's like, fuck you, Dad. Oh, I'll show you who's a man. Sometimes I get annoyed. I'm like, I wish you were more fun to go on adventures with, because sometimes it feels like I'm dragging a 4th grader on a field trip. I'm like, let's go to the science fair. He's like, I don't want to have fun. But then I look at it from his perspective. I'm the 4th grader in this scenario, right? He's the sober one. He's the only one tethered to reality. I'm rolling in the grass and eating pine cones. He's like, dude, we're still in the parking lot. I have some friends that are against drugs. I call them my haters. Or my parents. You can call them whatever. But they're always like, Andrew, the government's just legalizing drugs so they can distract you from what's actually going on. I'm like, cool. I don't like what's going on, so... Seems like a fair trade, yeah. I'm trying to cut down on the drugs a little bit, though. I'm 40 this year, so... You look so good. Oh my God, who said that? I'm just trying to quit smoking pot. Thanks for your support, all right? City full of alcoholics judging me. My dad got throat cancer. Yeah, boo now. Well, at first I was like, Snoop Dogg never had a cancer scare. I should be fine. And then my dad died. And I was like, well, I'm not related to Snoop Dogg, so this probably isn't that well for me. Look, I just switched to edibles. I'm not a good person or anything. Yeah. I earned your respect back. Edibles are fine. You know, it's okay. Edibles, it's kind of like wearing condoms again. Like it takes longer to work. It doesn't quite feel the same, but I don't know where those lips have been, you know? So just trying to keep it safe, you know? My dad was the #1 radio host in Seattle for 25 years. His name was Fraser Crane. Bob Rivers was his name. He was a musician too. He wrote parody songs. He's like Weird Al, but funny. Oh yeah, argue about my dead dad with me. That's fun. He actually got inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame recently, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty cool accomplishment that won't be around much longer. Just like my dad, you know. I can't imagine trying to explain to my kids someday, like, your grandpa used to be famous. Wow, how many TikTok followers did he have? Actually, he's in the Radio Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Whoa, what's a radio? It was before my time also. But everyone in my family is in entertainment, which is kind of cool to think about. My uncle's a musician, my brother's a director, my cousin's an actor, my dad was on the radio, I became a comedian. So it is refreshing in a way to know that a regular job just wasn't possible with this DNA. Like, no, I'm not a failure, it's just bad genetics. Oh. I'm just kidding, he's down there, come on! Sometimes I get jealous of my other family members' careers though, because you know, my uncle's a musician. When he gets sad, he could just write a sad song. When I get sad, I don't get to write a sad joke. I mean, I do all the time, but on accident. Crowds fucking hate it, by the way. I go, I'm grieving. They're like, come back when that shit's funny. Anyway, I just want to bring it up because I got like 10 more minutes of dead dad jokes. I need you guys to laugh. It's only been 3 months, so yeah, well, this job doesn't come with health insurance, so you're my therapy tonight. Wonder why comedians die so young. Shit, sad joke. I fucked it up. Damn it. My dad was really young when he passed away. He was only 68, which is like not even old enough to run for president anymore. You know? He had his whole life ahead of him. I notice whenever I tell people my dad had cancer, but as a young person, they always go, oh, I'm so sorry. And if it's an old person, they always go, what were his symptoms? Because young people are like, I'm gonna live forever. And old people are like, I'm gonna die tomorrow. And people in their 40s are like, do you think this beam will hold? Not for everybody, but it's tough having a sick parent because I had to take care of him sometimes, and it was a real role reversal from when I was a kid because he used to have to sit me down, be like, don't get in the vein, the guy doesn't have candy. And then every time I talk to him, I'd be like, don't give out your social security number over the phone. You didn't win a contest. That's my money soon, I need it. I'm in Chicago, it's not going well. No, I didn't get a huge inheritance. I mean, obviously I'm here, so... no, they put it in like a separate account. I think it's called a trust. They don't trust me, which is smart, you know? So there's like a guy, and I just gotta ask him, it's my money, but I just gotta ask the guy, it's my mom. I just gotta ask my mom, you know? Hey, can I bet $10,000 on an election? And she goes, no. Can I take a bunch of drugs and go to a concert? She's like, have a great time. So it's a fair system, but... Cancer's tough, at least in my experience. I mean, it's just unpredictable. My dad had it for 3 years, but he got told he had 3 months to live 3 different times. So we really had to live every day like it was his last, which is a cute bumper sticker, but it's stressful in real life. But One of the ways I realized it was actually close to the end, Instagram told me. Yeah, it's kind of fuck. Instagram knows more about you than you know about yourself. I've been getting ads lately like, loneliness kills men faster than smoking. I'm like, shit, I'm doing both. How do they know? But I started getting these ads like, is your dad still alive? Order him this book while you still can. Have him fill it out with his favorite memories of you together. I was like, yeah, that's what my dad wants on his deathbed. Fucking homework. You know? Hey, Dad, let me move these tubes and put this pen in your hand, you know? Just fill this out with your favorite memories of us together. No pressure, I'll just look at this for the rest of my life. What's crazy is I know my brother got those same ads because he bought the book. And my dad fucking hated it. Which is funny, you know, not that I'm keeping score, but it is nice to know that he died while I was the favorite. So, score one for the good guys. But everyone grieves differently. You know, for example, I've been doing mushrooms and going to concerts, and my brother goes to church. So, similar. You know, except I actually talk to God. By the way, I got nothing against religion. I think it's a great way to, you know, build community and expand your network and make friends with some of the most annoying people in your neighborhood. But when my dad was sick, my brother would always ask permission to read him prayers. And even though my dad was more spiritual than religious, he would just say yes because he knew that's what he needed to feel better. And one time my brother was reading this prayer, and it was like 5 minutes long. And when he finished, my dad opened his eyes and went, well, that was a marathon. And we were laughing about it. But when it came time to plan the actual funeral, my brother was a little upset because there wasn't enough religious readings. And we told him we just wanted him to be happy, so we were like, read whatever you want. Dad's dead, he's not gonna care. So at the actual funeral, my brother walked up to the casket, and he pulled out his phone, and he just let out a heavy sigh. And he muttered to himself, he goes, no one wants to hear this shit. And then he scrolled past everything he had written down. And my mom and I looked at each other like, holy shit, there is a God. Yes, you saved us. My dad and I were really good friends the whole time, which I feel very lucky about. But our relationship evolved in the last couple months of his life. He actually became my sugar daddy. Yeah. Which is another reason I didn't want him to die so soon. You know, I was like, let's keep this gravy train rolling. He started paying my electric bill for the last couple months. I don't know if you know this, I live in Washington, and Washington is one of the only states where you're allowed to have a death with dignity, which means if you're a terminally ill person and the pain becomes too much, you can sort of go out on your own terms. But you have to be a resident of Washington to do it. And my parents lived in Vegas, which is where old people go to hide their money. So, one way to establish residency is to have your name on a bunch of bills. Yeah. My dad was basically keeping my lights on in case he wanted to turn his off. So, that's a pretty awkward conversation to have. I was like, are you sure you don't want to pay my rent also? Like, you never know how close they're gonna check these things. He didn't end up needing the hospice service. My mom got there first with a pillow. That's her favorite joke, by the way, so fuck you guys. Well, it turns out it's just really hard to schedule your own death because he was trying to live his life to the fullest until the last minute. But when you're that sick, you have a bad immune system, so just anything can take you out, right? Like a cold or a flu or a hoax, even. And so by the time we realized it was too late, we called the nurse and they go, oh, great, we're going to interview him over the next 2 weeks to see if he's eligible to die. My dad literally goes, good luck keeping me alive for 2 weeks. crazy process because you have to convince this nurse that you're like close enough to death that you might as well do it, but that you're of sound enough mind that you're making the decision on purpose and you're not just a little sad that day. So they're literally interviewing him on his deathbed, going like, have you ever thought about hurting yourself, or made a plan to hurt yourself and didn't follow through, or start to hurt yourself and stop? And my dad goes, not till I called you. He is dying and killing at the same time. But those are the things I'll remember forever, you know, just cracking jokes until the last minute. He got to be himself. Even just the confidence, you know, to do that, and just the optimism. I mean, he was, a couple days before he died, he was planning concerts for months away. He was like, Andrew, the Eagles are coming to the Sphere in April. We should go. I was like, Dad, I don't know how to tell you this, but you're about to see the Beatles. I mean, at least the good ones. Oh, that's the offensive joke I told you. Cool. Good to know. You guys are fun. The first time I told that joke, I left the comedy club and I walked into the weed store to celebrate, and the Beatles was playing. I was like, what kind of weed store has the Beatles playing? And then I was like, oh, maybe that's just Dad checking in. Let me know he likes the joke. He was a radio DJ. If anyone can convince God to spin a couple records, it's gotta be him. And even if it wasn't, and it's just a coincidence, it made me smile, and that's cool too. And I guess I decided it doesn't really matter, because he's dead. I can make up whatever story I want. I can pretend he was proud of me the whole time, right? What's that? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? Dad wants me to drop acid tonight, I guess. It's what he would have wanted. I wasn't sure if an afterlife was real, and I'm still not. But I came to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter, because I'm the only one who has to believe it. It's not for anyone else. And our last name is Rivers. And rivers don't end, they just become something bigger, right? A river can dry up, but even then it's not gone, it's just evaporated. It's still around us in a different form. It's in the air, it's in the clouds, it's in the music from the cloud. Oh, no. That's not a coincidence. That's just Dad. Drop it in. All right, thank you guys very much. I need to still need therapy, but hopefully a lot less.
Happy Father's Day.
Hey, thank you. Yeah. Downstairs, they were like, how you doing today? I was like, fucking shut up. I was like, I like to spread out the sad. I just like to be a little sad every day. That way you don't get... Anyway, I hope that didn't trigger anybody, and we're all good. But...